Hello, hello, and welcome to the Maria Now podcast. It is, I think, episode 10, and I am feeling super juicy. So I'm going to share that juicy juju with y'all. And we're going to start with our activation. Here we go. So if you're joining us for the first time, the activation is 4 phrases that you say out loud. So I'm going to say the phrase one at a time, and then you'll repeat it, and then you'll take a deep breath in and out. All right, here we go. Close your eyes if you can, or you can gaze down if that feels more comfortable. Feet on the ground. Let's start with a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it up at the top and release. Soul activate awe. Deep breath in. And release. Body activate awe. Deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top and breathe out. Heart activate awe. Breathe in and release. And last, mind activate awe. Last breath in. Hold it at the top and release. And when you're ready, you might want to sway to awaken yourself to the moment, or squeeze your buns, giving you a bun roll. Open your eyes and say hello to this moment, to this day, to the right here, right now with each other. So, according to Dacher Keltner in his book, he talks about different kinds of flavors of awe, if you will. And I find that so fascinating. So, for example, it might be collective effervescence, which means just a sense of belonging, feeling at home, at ease with a relaxed nervous system. Another one is moral beauty. When you witness someone doing an act of good or goodness or being in service to others, lovingly, warmly, like sometimes unexpectedly, right? Like in a moment where you wouldn't maybe do it yourself. You're just enraptured with this person in their courage, in their awareness, in their stepping up to the moment. Other flavors of awe is nature. I mean, the grandness and grandioseness and just the complexity of what we can't even fathom or see, but we have faith in. And there's art, of course. Hello. I used to be an artist in that I would create large-scale interactive installations based on research and in collaboration with social scientists, neuroscientists, psychologists, and all the beautiful, heady people. I would take their work and make it more accessible, interactive, like hands-on and intergenerational, so that There's just a higher memory recall when you're engaged with something in a different way. Music, sound. Oh my goodness. Like, have you ever heard a piece of music that just moved emotions, right? Energy and motion through you. Oh my goodness. And there's a couple more, but I'm going to stop there. And today I'm going to focus on collective effervescence and the experience of just what it feels like to belong. And I think of Brene Brown's definition of belonging versus fitting in. And I believe I spoke about this in another podcast. Can't remember which one. But she talks about, fitting in is, contorting who you are, not necessarily being your authentic self. So you can feel a sense of belonging. But it's not true belonging, right? Because it's kind of like your false self. So your nervous system isn't at rest, at ease, right? There's like an edge. You feel masked. And then there's true belonging where you are your authentic self. You are waving your freak flag, whatever that may be. And in doing so, you're attracting the people who are seeing it and going, hey, I like that. I feel that. I vibe with that. And so there is this sense of belonging where there's camaraderie, there's commonality. And even if there are differences, that's not going to break your nervous system and create, a tension that will break the bond, if that makes sense. Because I mean, there's tension that will always occur in any kind of relationships. And I think if there is an ability to acknowledge it and accept it or move past it, there's still a sense of belonging, right? So that is what I'm talking about today. As someone who, the past couple of weekends, I did a little bit of traveling and we went to Houston, Texas, which is not too far away from Austin, along with my husband and two kiddos. And we reconnected with, well, people I hadn't seen in about 3 decades. Yeah, that's 30 years. So it was about 12-ish. And it was just so easy to talk to them, be in delight with them, exchange stories of the past of who we were and of our perceptions, and then of who we are now. And it was just like this flow, this ease, this like the I knownness that's not of the brain, but of like the heart and spirit. And so with 30 years passing by, like how easy it was for all of us to say yes to re-meet each other after a long time and be like, this is cool. Like we can talk, we can find things to be engaged with each other. Um, and um, another friend we met up with who had known for maybe like 15 years. Again, the same ease of exchange, talking about he works for NASA. So we talked about astronomy and a lot of awe talk, being in wonder of like the galactic space and how that grounds us in our bodies while we're like floating around in the land of possibility and imagination. So that's collective effervescence. And this theme continued on as I found myself in Miami, Florida this past weekend. And really, again, I'm really like a wild child, in terms of like, I keep in touch with people who are I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's just like I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me reach out to this person I haven't seen in 20, 30, 15 years, like whatever it is. Because I know that beneath the layers of stories, of whys, of emotions, that underneath it all, we are all humans and we are all worthy and we are all of value and we all have something to connect with, to connect over, to connect to. This like hinge of storytelling, this hinge of awe, this hinge of presence, right? And so when we invite that into conversation and communication, like that can be reignited no matter how long you have or haven't seen a person, or even if you are meeting people for the first time. So when I was in Miami, I reconnected with a family friend, and it was my oldest brother's former girlfriend from a high school's mom and her son, who was also my brother's friends. Um, and I noticed like our we shared stories about our past of living in the Philippines, which varied differently, and we learned about each other's, perspective and lifestyle concurrently, which was different in a lot of ways. And then to arrive and be in Miami at the same place at the same time, vibing super well over our personal evolutions and our collective evolutions and our tapping into awareness and spirituality in very similar ways. And so the expansion conversations were so lit and juicy. It was so fun. I was like, holy shit, these are my peeps. And so it just took it was a risk to reach out to them because it had been years. And it was a risk for them to say, yeah, sure. Like, I don't know who this person is anymore, but let's find out. Right. And so we allowed ourselves to belong to each other, which was beautiful. And then I went to a conference, and this amazing woman, her name is Kate Northrup. And I was there for a conference called Relaxed Money. And she is teaching and living and being all of the things in such a way that she's holding the energetic frequency for everyone who went to that at a certain level. And so that allows us all to, one, be at ease, right? When you have the ability to be at ease, you can laugh, you can share your uncertainties, you can share your deepest desires, you can open up to another in a way that where you might feel constrained and dense and tight, that you wouldn't be able to do that, right? Because there's fear. And so Kate sucked the fear out of the room and allowed us all to be in collective effervescence, not just because of the topic that she was talking about, but because we were all there collectively in terms of being growth oriented, of being there, willing to connect with another, willing to share our stories, to be seen, to be heard, to be celebrated. And there was so much power when people gather because of a specific reason that draws them all there. Now, we all had our different whys and our different backgrounds and our different upbringings and a different maybe direction in terms of how we want to go forward. But in that moment, it was all a moment of opportunity of just being deeply present, in awe of each other's energetic space that each person was taking up. And then together, the space we were taking up collectively as a group in joy and support and in awe. And it was like, why aren't we living like this every day? You know what I mean? And the thing is, we can. We can. it's so important to remember that everything we do is an investment, right? Investing our time with the people we want to um, coexist and co-evolve with, investing our resources towards things that feel good to you, that support another, and that grow in ways that evolve. And when I say grow, it's not always bigger, right? So evolution can grow in a wiggly way. Evolution can grow in like downward ways. I think of like when I'm in a when I'm in my turtle shell for periods of times in my life, that is also growth, even though it isn't this like big exponential boom, fire growth. It is like this internal growth. So growth looks like so many different things in so many different ways. And in this particular container, it was growing our energy wider, bigger, louder, which is super fun when you're with other people who are willing to do that and ready to share that and support and lift and like yahoo each other. You know what I mean? Um, and and then my husband arrived for the weekend, and it was amazing because we just met uh, I would say a friend of a friend, but more like I think an acquaintance of a friend. So totally random, not random. And we met him at in Little Havana, and just like immediately could tell this was going to be like a soul friend. And so we all just shared where we were, shared our curiosity, shared our like dreams, which happened to be the same dream of, you know, investing in other people's dreams to see that creativity seeded and bloomed and thriving in the world just because acknowledging that we are all creators in awe of people being creators. You are a creator. Every single one of us is a creator. And to remember that and to grow that and to acknowledge that and to be that every moment of every day is so powerful. And if you need help doing that in your life right now, I am coaching. So you are welcome to message me, and I'm happy to support you as you are in a moment in your life of figuring it out. I am here for you. I believe in you. I am in support of you. I am your fuck yeah person. And I will also ground you into the moment, just like Aud is, and elevate you to the collective oneness at the same time. So, um, collective effervescence in meeting this soul in Little Havana with my husband. And we just met again later on the trip because it was just so, again, so easy and effortless and just like um, open, open. And I feel like when we tap into awe, like when I say heart activate awe, my heart shields literally go down. I don't know about y'all. I would love to actually hear what it's like for you when you do the awe activation practice. If you can share with me, you can send me a note, you can email me or go to Insta and DM me or whatever channel. I'd love to hear your experience in your energetic field, in your body, in your heart, in your mind as you're doing the awe activations. Um, but yes, awe definitely opens up the heart. And um, and so this like energy of collective effervescence then went into meeting some of my husband's friends on the beach in South Beach. And that, again, easy conversation, talked about like COVID times, our future casting, like nature as the ultimate grounding tool. choosing to create a life of our choice. So many juicy tidbits, so many juicy tidbits. And so what I'm realizing more and more is that during this season of when I was in a growing internally or closed off to like external growth, I was in my little turtle shell and it was a little bit dark in there, even though there was plenty of rest happening and a stage of growth happening in a way that I fully couldn't comprehend. In that gestation period, feeling, okay, I don't know where I was going with this. I was gonna go, I don't know. I have no idea. So let's see, the thread of going, yeah, we'll just leave it at that, I think, for now. So collective effervescence, right? So we have, oh yeah, okay. So when we're going inside, it's connecting to ourselves, realigning with ourselves. And maybe I'll speak for myself. When I was in that season of my life, and we all have seasons of that, I promise you, I've worked with hundreds, if not thousands of people, actually thousands. There is seasons in everybody's life that is a resting or a darkened or an enclosed, self-enclosed period. Now, people might choose to listen to that season or ignore that energy and keep going. That's what we call burnout. When you are aware that it is the season of internal reflection, growth, and rest, you will see that that is so sacred. And that is also a time when you are choosing to learn to belong to yourself. And then there's the collective effervescence of when we are choosing to be open, to belong to the moment. And when we choose to belong to the moment, anyone who comes into that sphere, they will belong to you and you will belong to them, should they choose to accept the mission. Not everyone is going to be open to that. Everyone kind of has different emotional and energetic barriers. And so if you are able to hold a certain frequency of openness, the majority of the time, people will choose to mirror that. And when they do that, that means you are choosing to belong to the same moment at the same time. And that's when the magic of awe happens, the magic of collective effervescence. And it's so cool. It's so magical. And I am really tapped back into that right now. And I'm in such joy and pleasure and leisure. And I think of the word leisure, and my nervous system is relaxed. I am buzzing in excitement and buzzing in ease and tapped into this like internal peace and external universal trust. And I think that's maybe a good definition of the Oz flavor of collective effervescence: internal peace and external universal trust. All right, y'all. I'll be signing out here momentarily. I just wanted to also share that I am doing some upcoming talks around here in Austin. I will put the information, the links below where you can message me for the info. I have these are public talks. One at One Salon, February 29th, another one at House of Jayne in April, Another one, I'll be emceeing the Do Good Festival in April here in Austin. Super excited about that. And then I have a couple other ones that are in the works, and I will share that information when it is time. And so if you are looking for someone to come talk to your group, your organization, your corporation, your community, your university, classroom, or colleagues or peers, I am here to speak and do workshops. I'm excited about so much more big news around this global Activate A tour. More about that when the time is right. And so shoot me a message. I cannot wait to share a little bit of awe and maybe even create some with y'all. Signing off, this is Marie in Awe, sending you some good choo-choo. Put-a-doo, put-a-doo, put-a-doo. Until next time.